So we are officially live, or at least broadcasting. I'm gonna now live stream to Facebook, and then I think we should be good to go. On a page I manage. Woohoo, we're doing it, guys. We're going live.
Sweet.
Lord have mercy. Nothing quite like watching your dreams unfold. All right. I think we are live on Facebook. Sorry, guys, one sec.
No, you're fine.
Oh, okay. It gives you a preview before you post, which is really nice. Yeah. I love that they have the layering steps. I'm just adding you guys in the post to tag you. I'm sorry, this is really hard to do all at like walking and chewing gum at the same time. Okay.
I'm glad you're doing it, not me.
Thanks for being patient. Okay. I'm going to do a countdown so you guys aren't like caught off guard. Props to like whoever does this and makes it look like super easy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. I think this makes sense. So, go live. All right. I think it's doing the little bar thing to Facebook Live. All right, I think we are live.
Oh yeah, it says it on my screen.
Yep. Woohoo. Okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Jessica Morrison, Realtor with Ferris Property Group. I have all of the excitement, nervous jitters possible because this has been a passion project of mine, if that is such a thing. But I am just super excited to bring you all to this interview tonight. We are interviewing David Weekley Homes and the Gramercy West community. So woohoo, all of the applause. And I am excited to introduce Hunter and Rachael, who are sales representatives, and Kim DeWitt with Highland Home Mortgage, or is it Highland Mortgage?
Highlands Residential Mortgage, yep.
50% of the way there. All right.
You're close, yes.
So, Hunter, I am going to turn it over to you. Please tell us, what is Gramercy West? Where are you located? And why should we learn more about this community?
Yep. Hey everyone, my name is Hunter Beecham. I am one of two sales consultants in the Gramercy West Townhome section. Gramercy West is located 126th and Keystone. Really what it is it's our central living product. So what central living means to David Weekley is that we are within a mile, actually less than a mile, of downtown Carmel. So we are within walking distance. There's 240 homes that will be in Gramercy West, give or take a couple. And it's a mixture of single family and townhomes. Price points, we're starting in the high 240s for the townhomes and then the 315s for the single family.
Boom. So, Rachael, do you have any thoughts on that?
So Gramercy, I mean, just community-wise, it's located in an amazing area. I think you're like 0.4, 0.7 miles within walking distance to downtown Carmel, where you've got all the restaurants, shops, I mean, everything you could need within walking distance.
I do have a community map too that I'm going to share with you guys real quick. So everyone can see that. This is the community as a whole. So as you see it, the gray is the townhomes. And then the blue, the orange, and the bright orange back here are single family. One of the great things with Gramercy West is all the amenities that come with it. So not only are you close to downtown, you have the pool, the clubhouse that are coming. There's a dog park up here, this way across the pond. And there's also this really cool stretch that we're calling Central Park. So Central Park is right here along the stretch. You can see my cursor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's along this stretch right here, and I actually have a visual of it. So I'm gonna pull that up next real quick. And it's so unique. I've never seen anything like it before in a new home community. So pull this up right here. So you can kind of see what Central Park's gonna look like. So it's kind of the boardwalk all the way down. It's gonna be splitting up some of these homes. And it's a really big stretch of green space. There'll be, some paths, some beach or benches and things like that, and some seating areas. Do you think to add to it, Rachel?
Just a great area. I mean, if you wanted to go out and just meet with some friends out there or even have a picnic out there, I mean, it's just an extra amenity that the community has to offer and really utilizes the space well.
In the community, so there are two different sections in the community for types of homes. We've got single family and townhomes. The townhomes are really starting in the high 240s. There are 4 different floor plans ranging from anywhere from the 1,100 square foot range to over 1,700 square feet. 2 to 3 bedrooms, 2 to 2.5 bathrooms. And then with the single family homes, we have 6 different floor plans that we offer out there, starting in the 315 range. And those are all also, again, ranging from about 1,600 square feet to around 2,200 square feet. There are 2 HOAs. So we have the HOA for the single family and the community as a whole, and that is $800 a year. And then the townhome has a separate HOA. So you pay the $800 a year, but you also have the maintenance fee, which is $1,600 for the year. So it comes to about $200 a month.
That's really cool. Do you happen to have like any slides on hand of the different floor plans?
I don't right here on my computer.
Okay. Okay, cool. I nerd out over floor plans, so it's always fun to look at those. So just to clarify, because this is a lot of information, I've talked with you guys before, obviously, and kind of have a good feel of what you have to offer, but just to bounce back what I just heard. And for those of us who are just tuning in, so you have a townhomes product and a single family homes product. Absolutely. And you're currently, are you building both at the right now, or is one following the other?
We are. We actually have 4 models right now.
Right.
So we have 2 townhome models and 2 single family models. So we have under construction right now about 11 townhomes, individual units. And then we have 7 more that haven't broke ground yet. And then for the single family, we have, like 10 under construction right now. So it's a busy place right now. Sales wise, we've been open for about 2 months total for the entire community. Townhomes have sold 5 and the single family has sold 7, right, Rachel? Yeah. So it's been pretty crazy to start out with.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite floor plan or one that you're already starting to see gets a lot of buzz?
For the townhomes, the Givens is absolutely the favorite. It's the end home of our 4-pack home. So we have 2 different designs. So we have what are called 3-packs and 4-packs. The 3-packs are what are going to cover the front stretch for the most part, and it's 3 homes in the building. And then we have a 4-pack, which has 4 homes in the building. The Givens is what's on the end of both. And that seemed to be the most popular. It's about 1,730 square feet, sitting in the low 3s.
Okay. And how many levels is the townhome?
They're all 2.
Okay. Very, very neat. Now, for those who have not built a home before, like let's say they're a first-time home buyer or a first-time seller and they're looking at transitioning into a product that maybe does offer the type of lifestyle and amenities that your community or others similar to your community have to offer. One of the most common questions I get around HOAs is, I know you said that your HOA is $800 a year. Is that including any regular monthly maintenance that people don't have to worry about maintaining your yard? And I'm sorry if you already said this, it's just good to clarify, between the single family homes and the townhomes.
So
Is there a monthly fee?
the $800 a year is just covering the community maintenance, pool, clubhouse, dog park, and then Central Park. So the single family homes absolutely act like single family homes. So you're responsible for the maintenance of the outside. The townhomes are a little bit different. So with the townhomes, you're paying $200 a month or $2,400 a year total.
Okay.
That's a split of the maintenance fee and the community HOA fee. With the townhomes, that's covering the mowing, the snow removal, the mulch beds, the plants, things like that, on top of the community HOA.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you guys don't have any basements now, but maybe in the future some will be added. So we don't have to cover that, just because that conversation down the road will be probably a different conversation as far as pricing goes.
Yeah.
How many different types of exterior packages are available?
So for the townhomes and the single family, there are 3 different exterior options for every floor plan.
Okay. And then single family?
Yeah, but it's for both. For both of them, they all have 3 different exterior packages.
It's okay. This is a trick question. Just seeing if you're paying attention. And then obviously Carmel schools. Now let's transition into the building process. For those who have not worked with David Weekley before, or maybe it's been a minute, what does the process look like from having these types of conversations to sitting down with you and signing a contract? Can you kind of walk us through what that process looks like and how long it takes?
Absolutely. You want to cover this, Rachel?
Yeah, absolutely. So process-wise, what you can expect. So the way that we're starting out, at least in the townhomes, is we're doing quick move-ins. So essentially, we're starting buildings, and then those individual homes are going to be going up for sale as quick move-in homes. So as far as process goes, we do require $3,000 down as a form of down payment, or your earnest money. $3,000 down at the time of contract, and then kind of the process that you can expect after getting past the purchase agreement point. We do weekly phone calls with the buyer every week. So meet myself or Hunter, and then the builder as well. We'll call and give you an update on what has happened in the home that week, and then what you can also expect to happen the following week as well, just so you're fully informed with everything going on. I know people have busy schedules, can't always make it out to the home when they want to. So, our goal is really just to keep you in the loop with everything that's going on throughout the process.
That makes sense. Do you guys take photos or email those photos at all to the clients?
We take weekly photos. So we actually have a pretty unique buyer page that every home buyer gets once they purchase a home with us. It's not just through construction. They actually get to keep it throughout the life of the home. They have access to their warranty information on there, access their selection information on there, as well as just helpful tips on if they, need to do just normal homeowner maintenance. On that, there's actually a photos page. So the sales consultants actually go every single week and take photos of every stage of construction and upload those onto those buyer page. So they get photos every single week.
Okay, very neat. Now, does your agent or the buyer's agent get included in that?
It's actually just the homeowners
Okay.
portal, so we don't even have access to see like their specific portal. They set the password and all that stuff up for it. But if the agent ever wanted pictures, we can absolutely send pictures to them as well when we take them.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't fully understand, and maybe agents who have been down the road longer in their career than I have, but that's one thing that I wish was a little bit better, just generally speaking. It's, I think, synonymous with any builder that you work with. But being able to see the same thing that my clients are seeing on a weekly basis is certainly helpful, because, I make efforts to go out there as frequently as I can to certainly keep them informed and be informed. But yeah, just from a streamlining communication standpoint, I would love it. I don't know if every agent will agree with me, but that's anyway, put it in the dreaming category. The
We're
wish
happy to send photos at any point to the agent and the homeowner, like emails instead. So if they wanted them via email every week, we could do that as well.
Sure. See, adapting. Although, if I guess in the portal that would make sense if access. Anyway, you guys don't have control over that. It's just side banter. Anyway, so how long does it typically take from when a client decides to sit down and do make selections with you, and they're ready to put pen to paper? What does that next step look like?
Do you want to cover this, Rachel?
Sure. Yeah. So as far as like time frame goes, so it just kind of depends with the quick move-ins what stage it's at. So we have a couple different ones right now. That we have one that's completely finished now. We also have some that are going to be coming available into September timeframe, and then end of October as well. So it really just depends time frame wise. Since we're doing all quick move-ins, what stage of the home that it's at. It's going to determine when it's going to be closing and when it'll be finished.
On a deposits and pen to paper kind of thing. So for the townhomes, we're actually taking $3,000 down as a deposit. So that's the earnest money. That's all we require to start the process and throughout the process. Pen to paper, it really depends, like Rachel said, on where we're at in the stage of the home and when closing will be. We have homes that are just now about to break ground and homes that are just about to complete that are quick move-ins. So it really depends on the specific home the buyer is interested in, the buyer is ready to move forward on.
Okay, so let's talk about a property that they would have to break ground. What does the timeline look for that?
For the townhomes, we're still learning since we're a brand new community. We're looking probably around 5 to 6 months on a townhome, and the single family is about 4 to 6 as well.
Okay. That sounds consistent. Now, side question, have you had any type of supply disruptions because of COVID or any delays on your end with building because of COVID and manufacturing?
So absolutely, as every other builder has had, there are some experiences. We're adapting, and we haven't had any stopped construction. We're able to adapt and get substitutions on pretty much everything that's been unavailable, and they're pretty much the same products. So we haven't had any major issues there yet. We hear that it might be coming in the future, but so far so good.
Yep. Actually, no, I don't know the name, but I know that there is a builder who specifically has a warehouse where they're just storing all of their appliances, because appliances are one thing that's causing a delay. And so they don't want to have any delays on the closing end. And so they're just having a warehouse that stores all of the appliances so that whenever they commit to building a home, they have those appliances in stock.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's a common practice on your end, but I thought that was a unique way to problem solve.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
Okay, so, and then you said you have 2 quick move-ins right now?
We have 6 that are going right now, and then 7 that are about to break ground.
Okay.
So we have quite a few.
Very cool. Just working down through my questions here. Now, let's talk a little bit about what sets David Weekley apart with your warranty, the types of products or finishes that you guys choose to put in a home, level of quality of construction, things like that. Because I think when most people are looking at different builders, they kind of all feel like they're the same. So how are you guys different?
So the biggest thing for us that really sets us apart is our 2x6 construction. So all of our exterior walls on all of our homes are 2x6 construction. So the big thing with that is it's a sturdier home, one, but it also allows for more insulation to go in. So it's a more energy efficient home. That's the biggest part. Anything else you want to touch on, Rachel?
As far as like construction materials, things like that, we do for the townhomes, I know this may be a concern for some people, we do a 2-foot firewall as well in between all of them. So that's just an extra barrier in between the townhomes as well.
Very cool. Now, Kim, I know you've been very quiet because we're waiting on the end of this to talk about like financing and everything. But I mean, in this whole conversation, and then obviously as a preferred lender, you've kind of seen clients come through and build. And anyway, is there anything you want to add so far? from? what
Yeah,
we could
you
think
know,
about?
I think David Weekley, especially this community with the quick move-in properties that are available. I mean, we're in a market right now where, especially at the price point that Gramercy West offers, you know, it's a seller's market, and I don't know if you'll attest to this too, Jessica, but inventory is low. So, you know, if you're not set on, you know, buying an existing home that's, you know, had some wear and tear and you want something brand new, I think this is an awesome option. And, you know, like I always say, it's just the icing on the cake that, you know, interest rates are, God, I mean, Mike and I have been in the industry since 1993, and we've never seen anything like this. I mean, you know, I was looking at purchase interest rates, 15 years, you're looking at 2.25%, which is absolutely unheard of. You know, if you're at a 30-year fixed rate, you're looking at, you know, 2.5 to 2.625. I mean, the affordability just increases immensely for home buyers. So I think, you know, it really just, I encourage people to at least check with a mortgage lender, you know, to, you know, see what their affordability is. It doesn't cost anything to at least have that conversation, because I think quite often, more than not, the people that we work with are pleasantly surprised at how much affordability they have and how much, you know, how little it actually takes to get into a home similar to these at Gramercy West.
Yep, it's pretty much free money at this point. I mean,
I don't know, right? It's crazy.
um,
And that's what, you know, that's the thing too. I mean, you know, especially at this price point, you know, there's that image that you have to have that 20% down. You don't have to. I mean, there are conventional loans out there with 3% down. This is a great price point too to take advantage of Indiana Housing and their down payment assistance program. You know, there are definitely ways that we can help borrowers, you know, best maximize their affordability, all while keeping financial sense. I mean, I certainly wouldn't advise being house poor, but you know, instead of paying that $1,200 a month per rent, you could have a very nice home or townhome in Gramercy West for that same amount.
oh, and it's brand new, by the way.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Amen.
Oh, good golly. Yeah, there's, if I'm not careful, I'll get on a soapbox about that in a good way. It's funny to, especially just observing the market with inventory. 2 months ago, we had less than a month, or 0.9 specifically month worth of inventory available. And that means, for those watching who don't know what I mean when I speak that realtor language, it means that the supply of homes would sell out in less than a month if nothing new came on the market. And so we went from 0.9 to 0.8 last month. So there's even less homes, which
Right.
certainly puts things in a seller's favor position. And ideally, your neutral market would have 3 to 6 months worth of inventory. So less than 3 months is a seller's market, and conversely, more than 6 months is a buyer's market. So a little real estate education. But yes, it's really neat to hear that side of the financing discussion. Kim, do you know if there's any type of grant money available? Because I know of down payment assistance programs that are out there, but do you know if this community qualifies for anything specifically relating to grant money? And I'm kind of putting you on the spot with that.
That is a good question. Most often grant funds are available per certain census tracts.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to misspeak on that. I would have to look that up. You know, Hamilton County, not quite sure on that.
Mm-hmm.
But I could certainly look into that.
Okay. I just didn't know if you knew offhand. So
yeah, no.
Sorry to
And
put you on the
really,
spot.
you know, to put, especially those first-time home buyers, you know, this is often, I think that's just such an intimidation factor about, you know, where do I even begin? You know, it's just, you know, kind of like riding a bike. How do I even start? Or, you know, before you start a project, it may seem overwhelming. You know, that's what we're here for. You know, I love helping first-time home buyers as much as I love helping, you know, move up buyers. But, really that's what we're here for. We're here to, make sure all of your questions are answered, that you're put at ease. And it's a total team effort. I mean, we've been with David Weekley Homes as a preferred lender since 2011 when they came to the Indianapolis market. So, we have each other's back. We're here for you 24/7. It's, no question is too big or too small.
Yeah. So since you bring that up, Kim, David Weekley coming into the marketplace in 2011, Hunter, Rachel, do you want to tell us a little bit about David Weekley's history or who they are as a builder? Or are you guys entirely familiar with that?
Yeah, absolutely. So David Weekley actually started in 1976. So we've expanded exponentially since then, and we've entered into over 20 markets. So we are the largest privately held home builder in the U.S. David Weekley's focus consistently on quality, making things right for the customer, and just doing the right thing.
And where did you guys start originally?
Houston, Texas.
Okay.
Yep.
Good old Texas. And then as far as Indianapolis, what other communities do you have available? Like, do you know how many communities you have? Like, if someone was interested in partnering with David Weekley as a builder to build a home, but maybe Carmel wasn't the right fit or for whatever reason, how many other communities or options or locations do they have to consider?
So there's quite a few options. We primarily focus on the north and the northeast side. So we have one community in Lawrence called Lawrence Village, starting in like the mid 200s. We've got Flat Fork out in Fishers. That starts in the 300s somewhere. We've got Saxony, which is in closeout. There's only one opportunity left in Saxony. And then as we go farther, we're going to go back into Westfield. We've got Lakes at Shaynook, which is just across State Road 32 in Cary. We've got on the other side of 32 in Cary, we've got Suffolk at Oak Manor. Just a quarter mile down the road, we've got Belmont Woods off of Cary. It's in closeout as well, with just 3 opportunities left down there. In Carmel, we've got Woodside at West Clay, which is an all-ranch community on slabs or basements. It's really a beautiful community as well.
That was a great product, by the way. At least
it's amazing.
Talk about, you can't find that.
No, not in Carmel, not in that price point, and not in an all-ranch community like that. So that's phenomenal. And then also in Carmel, we've got Gramercy West. We also have homes downtown. We've got Monon 16. And so we've only got 4 opportunities left down there, I believe.
Fun. Woohoo, all this inventory.
David Weekley, yeah.
So Rachel, you've been with them for about 6 months now. What's been your favorite thing in having worked with David Weekley, and just your observation of the process and maybe how they handle conflicts? Because try as hard as we all might, there's bumps in the road, and, we work very hard to communicate well, any unforeseen things that might come along. But what's been your experience? And I'm kind of putting you again on the spot. I feel like that's my theme today, is putting everybody on the spot. But just maybe share a little bit about your experience so far.
Yeah, I think my favorite part of being a part of the David Weekley team is just the open communication. I think that's one of the biggest things that we stress throughout the process, not only to our fellow employees, Hunter's my partner out at Gramercy. Communication is huge for us, but also to any of our new homeowners as well. Just having an open line of communication. I always tell people, building a home or buying a home should be a fun and exciting process. And that's kind of what we're here to do, is to make that a fun and exciting process for you. So we just always want to have an open line of communication. If there's anything you're ever unhappy with or felt that we could be doing better, we absolutely want you to bring that to us. Just again, to make it a good experience for you throughout the process.
And is there a recommended, so because we're putting this out into the internet universe, is there, if someone does experience a problem after closing for whatever reason, what is the recommended course of action that you encourage clients to say? Because I don't want somebody to just like tag you and try to problem solve that way. So what is the recommended course of resolving? Not that, you guys you don't have problems after closing. That's just unheard of.
Right. Right. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a couple different things that we do after closing just to ensure that, you know, you love your home, everything's going well with it. So we actually do surveys. So that's one thing we're big on. We survey throughout the entire process. So after 1 month of closing on your home, you will get a call to do a survey. Again, just making sure that you're enjoying your home your first month in. You know, it's kind of another way for us to make sure everything's going smoothly, that there isn't any conflict or anything like that that needs to be resolved. And then we also do a survey as well after 1 year, just a check-in to see how your home's living, how you're enjoying it, and what your thoughts are on it.
And do you guys do things like fixing nail pops and recaulking anything that has separated after, you know, it's had time to settle? Is that part of your 1 year walkthrough?
So with David Weekley, they're actually assigned a warranty service rep, which is not common in a lot of builders. So with David Weekley, we actually pass it along to another person, David Weekley, who focuses just on taking care of our customers that are in their homes. They're actually going to come out and meet with our clients right after closing. Give them that warm, fuzzy feeling to make sure they know that they've got somebody there to take care of them through the process. And they'll come back and fix any warranty issues in that first year, just to make sure everything's good with them.
Cool. And then as far as for those who are very detail oriented as individuals who really want to understand the warranty, and especially, you know, when you're putting your hard-earned dollars towards an investment, you want to make sure that you're secure and you're confident in that investment. And so one of the common questions I get is like the length of warranty issues. So like things like the roof and mechanicals, like, can you just briefly break down, some builders have like a 5-10 year type different policy. Do you happen to know those offhand?
Yes, we've got our warranty breakdown is a little bit different. Every builder is a little bit different on their warranty breakdown. Right. So for us, it's 2 years on defects caused by faulty workmanship, defective materials, faulty installation of plumbing, electrical, heating, cooling, fixtures, appliances, equipment, things like that. It's a 4-year on defects of materials or faulty workmanship on the roof. And then you have a 10-year on major structural defects.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then some appliances, the furnace, all of those come with separate warranties as well through the manufacturer.
Yep. All right, so moving right along. As far as, we've talked a lot about David Weekley. Now we've talked a bit about Gramercy. Let's segue into a client who's ready to maybe take this a step further. You know, we're developing the relationship here and they're ready to have a conversation. Why should a buyer consider working with a realtor to build a new home? And I'll just leave that question there.
Absolutely. You want to cover this, Rachel?
Yes, absolutely. So I think having a realtor throughout the process of building a home or even purchasing a quick move-in home with a builder, I mean, I think it's great. You just have an extra support person there for you throughout the process, someone that brings extra knowledge to the process that we as a builder may not be able to provide you. Again, it's just someone that's there to support you throughout the entire process. Could be your eyes and ears if for any reason you aren't able to make it out to a meeting or anything like that. It's just another person in your corner, which I think is great.
And is there a cost to have an agent involved?
There is
No.
not.
Okay, so if I was a buyer and I came to the builder and I wasn't using an agent, could I try to negotiate the deal down because I'm not using an agent?
No, not at all. We won't negotiate based on a realtor or not having a realtor at all.
I wish I could like stream like that across the internet. No, it's for those watching, there's so much that we do on the real estate side. I know I'm kind of tooting my own horn here, but you've heard it straight from the horse's mouth. I mean, these are builder representatives and they're not, I mean, I'm obviously interviewing them, but they don't work to protect your best interests in the ethical way that I do or any other realtor does from a representation standpoint. And there's certainly a lot of pros and cons to well, I don't know where I was going to go with that. I was going to say to using an agent, but that's not true. There's I don't know what the con would be. Anyway, this is the benefit of doing live. You don't always get to think through what you're going to say. Anyway, no, it's anytime I've had the honor of representing a client on new construction, I always get calls after the fact. Like, I'm so glad I worked with you. And I had clients who recently built and they were doing a neighborhood block party, and some people trust the builder's inspections to catch everything. And one of the biggest things that I encourage clients to do is to have third-party inspections, just for that extra layer of protection. Obviously, we hope we don't find anything, but sometimes we do. And that just helps protect you as a consumer. And, unfortunately, their neighbors didn't have representation, and my clients had issues that were found, and that wasn't with David Weekley. So don't be concerned there. But again, I don't want to drag anybody under the rug. It's just that having representation brings a different perspective and makes sure that you are truly getting the best deal and getting a great investment. Anyway, any other thoughts on that?
And I might chime in there. And I know, just like I said, from firsthand experience, that David Weekley Hunter, we work with every single community, and they are huge supporters of realtors. I mean, yeah, there's no question there, because there is definitely value, and they highly, they hold up those relationships with the realtors in the Indianapolis and surrounding markets. So that's just a little outsider, but yes.
One thing to say as well, working for multiple builders in my career, David Weekley has probably the most integrity of any builder that I've ever worked for, as they focus genuinely on the clients and making sure that everyone's well informed throughout the entire process, as well as not just closing the home and disappearing. We stick around from the start to finish, and then we're afterwards you have a warranty rep who helps to make sure that everything's taken care of and everything's just how we promised it.
That makes sense. So we've got about 20 minutes left, and assuming that we keep this to an hour, what is your biggest piece of advice? Each of you have different lengths of experience, but for those who might be considering building their first home, or again, it might be a minute since they've done this before, what's the biggest piece of advice that you can give to someone who is looking at, in general, building? What should they look for in a builder? And maybe what questions should they ask to verify if that builder is a good quality builder?
Well, the first step is to come out and come see us. Walk through the models. Every community, there's a quality room that you can walk into David Weekley. So you can see what's behind the drywall, what you're actually getting product-wise. So the first step is definitely to come out and take a look, meet the sales reps, ask your questions, because if you think you know, you might not, because every builder is completely different on how they operate and how they do things.
That makes sense.
Anything to add, Rachel?
Again, as far as questions go to ask when coming out, I think it really just depends on what's important to you. So, before you come out, find out what's going to be most important to you when you're purchasing your home, what you're looking for, and just shape those questions around that, because I think everyone's different and, what's important to them and what they consider good value. So just think through those questions and just shape the questions that you ask us around what's important to you.
I think everyone has their hot points. Mm-hmm. So everyone's experienced something traumatic in their life in a used home or in an apartment or somewhere that they're really concerned with the plumbing because they've had a pipe burst, or they're concerned with the roof because they've had a leak, or so on and so forth. So just understanding and letting your sales representative know what's really important to you, what you've experienced that hasn't been great. That way they can try to put your fears aside and put you at ease, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Kim, I don't like calling you an outsider, but you've been a part of several deals in the building process, and I'm assuming not even just exclusive to David Weekley. as a mortgage professional, what's a piece of advice that you would give to clients who are looking at builders or trying to navigate questions to ask to make sure that they do their due diligence?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great question. Really the first step, if they haven't been pre-approved, definitely put it out there with your lender that you're working with. What's important to you? Do you have cash on hand for down payment? Are you more conscious about keeping your total housing expense under a certain limit? Be upfront with the lender too about, where your funds are going to come from for the funds needed to close. I had someone yesterday that said they had about $15,000 in cash in their closet that they wanted to use. And unfortunately, that's not always allowable. So, just be up, because like I said, we see so many different scenarios, and we can at least help guide you and direct you as to, hey, this makes the most financial sense right now, given your situation. What if, for example, somebody wants to buy a new David Weekley home and then down the line they want to put in a pool? Well, maybe you don't want to put as much down. So there are certainly things that we can talk through, during the process prior to put your mind at ease and, like I said, just bounce off ideas and kind of steer you in the right direction.
I love it. Love it. Now, I'm going to flip this. So that was kind of a more positive question. Let's flip this to a different direction. Is there anything the client should avoid when building a new home?
I can definitely say from a lender standpoint, yes. So, in this day and age with the economic situation, obviously when we run your pre-approval, we're going to pull credit. And then right before closing, we will do an additional soft pull. So anything that, if you go to Kittle's or to Best Buy and open up an account and buy a lot of appliances or furniture, that's going to show up. And ultimately, that could affect your approval if it affects your debt to income ratio. So, just have that conversation. I love it when home buyers are like, hey, I just found, a new cool kegerator. Am I okay to buy it? No problem. Just let us know, because we just don't want any surprises. Something that came up today. I have a buyer buying an existing home, and he has a great job, but he just received a new offer for another job. They're supposed to close September 4th. His new job would potentially start September 24th. So he said, what should I do? Should I, so I just really appreciate, hey, just let us know, give us a heads up. That's the worst thing you could probably do is, sometimes that saying, it's better to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission. In the case with a lender, maybe ask for permission first before you make any grand purchases. But, really, other than that, you're pretty good. You have to really do something absolutely crazy to mess it up. Let's not get arrested or that kind of stuff. But other than that, that's what we're here for. We're here to answer those questions and kind of run those scenarios for you.
Yeah. Hunter or Rachel, do you have any recommendations on the building side of things that clients should avoid?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the big things is changes. So when you're going through the process, try to make sure that what you're picking and what you're deciding on finishes inside your home, whether it be in Gramercy or any community with David Weekley. Like we talked about earlier with the COVID crisis we're going through right now, the supply chain is harder to manage than it usually is. So changes are getting harder and harder to be made since we're ordering things so much earlier than we usually do. So, we used to order cabinets after the house was framed and windows at that point and flooring after that. And we would order them as we went. And nowadays we're ordering everything when we get permits. So there's just not time to make those changes like you could before. So it's just making sure that you love what you pick and that you're okay with, signing that away because you can't change it later.
Yeah. So some builders, I forget what the saying was, but once the dirt has been dug, there's no changes made. Is that a similar policy with David Weekley, or do you guys have more flexibility to make those changes if the client desired?
We'll do what we can when we can. But right now it's just a lot harder to do anything, just because everything's ordered right away. So we're getting it regardless. So if we were to make a change, then we are keeping the other product already ordered and then reordering again, and then hoping and praying that it actually comes in on time.
Yeah, that makes sense, because then there's a delay in getting that, and then you're having to push or rush, and then you might sacrifice quality, or if you're not going to sacrifice quality, then you need to have sufficient time to complete that work accordingly. So that makes complete sense.
Another big thing that you, as a home buyer, don't or you can't do in new construction is you can't make changes yourself to the home while it's under construction. So I get buyers all the time that ask, can I come in and run speaker wire? Can I come in and do XYZ to my home, or add these custom closets, or anything that you don't do through the builder, you can't do until after closing. That's an insurance thing. That's what if something happened right before closing, you can't close, you can't qualify for a mortgage, and you've already done this to the home. Well, maybe we can't sell it that way, or maybe you put some money into the home that you're not going to get back. So there's nothing you can do to the home until it's complete. So anything that you do has to be done through the builder on the builder's paperwork, and it has to be approved by the builder.
That makes complete sense. I get why people get frustrated, or I think if you don't know, it doesn't make sense. But when you think about it further, it makes complete sense, especially from an insurance perspective. And like you just said, so very, very good. Rachel, any thoughts? What to avoid?
I think Hunter really got the big ones. Just another thing, not necessarily something to avoid, but just throughout the process when you first come in and we're going over the different options, floor plans, things like that, just be completely transparent with us. Don't be afraid to tell us that, hey, I don't like this, or, this isn't exactly what I was envisioning. Again, you won't hurt our feelings. So just be completely honest and open with us about what you like. If we're showing you something that's just not going to work for you, don't be scared to tell us.
That makes sense. Okay, so we have about 10 minutes left. I want to make sure that I give time for Kim to talk about promotions and any special financing, but what is your one parting word or takeaway on the builder side? What is your parting words?
For us, the big thing is our grand opening in Gramercy West is this weekend. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday this weekend, 10 to 6 on Friday and Saturday, and then from 12 to 6 on Sunday. So come check us out. Come see the new community. It's, like I said, 126th and Keystone. And we also have a food truck coming on from 12 to 3 on Saturday, and it's Bubs. So you don't want to miss it. Kim can talk a little bit. We actually had some donations too from Highlands and for another source of a gas grill and a Ring doorbell. So we'll be giving those away as well at the end of the day on Sunday. So come in, meet us, get some free food. We've got some goodie bags with some David Weekley swag in it, as well as some options to win a doorbell, win a gas grill, and just come learn who we are and learn about your opportunities to live downtown Carmel.
And just to confirm, is that Saturday and Sunday?
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Bubs will be there from 12 to 3 on Saturday, but we will be here from 10 to 6 Friday and Saturday, and then 12 to 6 on Sunday.
Got it. We'll have to put that in the comments so people can
absolutely
be sure to stop by. Rachel, any other parting words or thoughts?
Yeah, just come out and see us for the grand opening this weekend. We're excited to kind of show you who we are as a company and what we represent. So come by, say hello, and get some good food.
Awesome. Now, Kim, I want to wrap up too with any special financing programs, or are there any incentives or promotions currently happening right now with the builder and lending, or just builder? Do you want to touch on that?
Sure. Sure, absolutely. Great question. So standard with David Weekley home purchase, whether it be in Gramercy West or any of the other communities in Indianapolis, if a preferred lender is used, the borrower will be given a lender credit of $2,000 that can be used towards, you know, prepaids, closing costs. So it will certainly offset some of those out-of-pocket expenses. You know, there have been situations where, you know, we've been able to do some negotiating and helped borrowers with, say, for example, private mortgage insurance buyout, or, you know, we can get creative, you know, to fit the need of the borrower. You know, if like I said before, if ultimately at the end of the day, the total housing expense is an issue, then like I said, let's talk about that and see what it might take to eliminate mortgage insurance, or, you know, that's what we're here for. But like I said, standard, as far as an incentive is confirmed by using a preferred lender, they do get a $2,000 credit to offset those closing costs.
Awesome. And then do
Yeah.
you guys have, as a builder, are there any like design selection credits or incentives right now? Or sometimes there's free appliances or things like that included. So
with the townhome specifically in Gramercy, we are following an everything standard mindset. So a lot of the appliances, design selections, they're all included except for the refrigerator. So it's a gas stove already upgraded, and they're stainless steel. So all of that's pretty much standard, and there are no upgrades when it comes to the design selections. We are doing an additional $2,000 in closing costs right now as an incentive, though. So we're doing $4,000 if you're to use one of our preferred lenders and a closing cost credit.
that's awesome. Very cool. Free money.
Right. Combined with those low interest rates, you can't, yeah, it's awesome. It's a good time to buy, like I said.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I want to make sure that people understand, for those watching, what our next steps are. So for those of you who found this to be very engaging or helpful, if you'd like to connect further with David Weekley and to learn more, I have a form that I will put here in the comments for you to fill out, and then we will be in touch to help you get connected. We absolutely will not bombard or spam you. I mean, we'll follow up since you're telling us that you would like for us to contact you, but for those who know me personally, I'm very much like him. I'm relationship driven. I want to work with people who want to work with me, but we do want to make sure that you get taken care of. So if you do have an interest in building a home with David Weekley, whether it's at Gramercy West or at one of their other many communities around Indianapolis, you're welcome to fill out the form. We will be in touch within 1 to 2 business days, and then we'll work to set up an appointment with you virtually, probably first to honor COVID procedures, and then we will work through any design selections from there. But please feel free to put any questions in the comments or reach out to us. We would be more than happy to help you get on the right track to home ownership. And thank you so much for each of you for taking time out of your day to do this webinar. I really appreciate it. I found it super informative.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, you have a good evening, and thank you so much for tuning in.
Thanks, you guys. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
See ya.